I have my obligatory Charlie Coyle question, of course, which is, Charlie, we like Charlie, except we'd like him to play every game that he shows up at, not just half of them. Mm-hmm. Is there any trade value for Charlie? Well, I think it's gone down so much.
Yeah, well, I think it's at a low right now, and that's why, again, if you want to trade him, I think you wait. At this point, I really do, unless he's somebody that's going to make a trade go over the top. But I think you got to let him show the league that he's still a player, and I got to think he can only play better next season. He should hopefully be healthier, but yeah, I mean, he's a frustrating guy. Somebody brought up today if the Wild on my mailbag could trade, if you trade Coyle, do you go and get a Nick Bukestad? And it's funny, it's like Nick, and I love the guy, but he's kind of Charlie Coyle. You want more out of both of those guys, and so I don't think that's something that makes the most sense for the Wild. And so, I hope that Charlie plays great. I could tell you that Bruce does not want him gone, and I think he's definitely let Fenton know that. And so at this point, I do get the conjecture from talking to a GM the other day is that right now Fenton is not getting the value that he thought they could for a lot of these guys. And again, I think they're worried about trading Brodin now, so that limits what you want to do there. Bruce really doesn't want to see Spurgeon dealt. I think they're scared about trading Dumba. So that leaves Niederreiter, who has got 4 years left at 5.25, which could potentially impede a contract. And again, Zucker, if you trade him, it makes the team slower. So there's just, it's a tough thing. You don't want to make a trade just to make a trade. And at this point, we've got to see what he's got under his sleeve, if anything. But they might wind up going into the season with this team. We'll see.
Yeah, go ahead.
One more. So do you think Fenton is...
By the way, I've missed you, Ken. Yeah.
Do you think Fenton's concerned at all with the fact that the Flames and the Blues that missed the playoffs have really loaded up?
Yeah, I would be. I think the Flames have made great moves this offseason, obviously getting James Neal and Noah Hannafin and Lindholm. And St. Louis went into free agency having a major question mark up the middle. I think they still have a major question mark in goal, but up the middle, they are a much better team, and it shows how you can fix that. And they did it. I mean, getting Ryan O'Reilly is huge, and Bozak, even though I think he's overpaid. And they get Perron back for the third time, which is just crazy that they keep on doing that.
Question from Vicky. By the way, we're going to have people actually ask questions at the end.
Can I ask, has Clyde ever asked a question on a live podcast?
He's asked, why are we here?
Yeah. Don't you think that Clyde should ask a question at some point?
I think he should. I think he's next.
Yeah.
We're going to have people ask questions at this end just so we're not stretching a cable and knocking everybody's beers over. We'll just keep it simple. Sorry, Vicky. Sorry to make you move.
That's okay. We're back. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm very excited. The comment you made about how Fenton had realized that our players weren't valued at what he thought they would be valued.
Well, again, conjecture.
No, it makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
But that takes me to Tavares. $11 million?
Mm-hmm. For a long time, too.
Yeah, and it takes me back to where we got Parise and Suter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the big coup of that summer.
Right.
And we haven't really seen the return we hoped for that huge investment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just hoping to God that Tavares delivers. But what is $11 million worth of performance?
Well, I mean,
good question.
He's an absolute stud. I mean, you put him on the middle. Let's just say they move Austin Matthews to wing. I mean, and put him next to Tavares. I mean, that is, my God. There's a reason why right now they went from being, that they are, by all Vegas standards, the favorite to win the Cup next year, which would be absolutely ridiculous if just watch them. I can't even imagine. When I covered the World Cup in 2005 and Canada won I walked out of the Air Canada Center and they were like flipping cars over. And I even said to the reporter I was with, as we were walking through like tear gas, I'm like, can you imagine if they actually win a cup? And that was 13 years ago. Imagine if they win their first cup in what is that, 50 years? Holy shit.
Well, how long has he been with the Islanders?
Well, 9 years. He was drafted 9 years ago, I believe.
And how many cups did they get?
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. I mean, look, there's no doubt. I mean, but you look at the Islanders the last couple of years, haven't had goaltending. Their blue line's horrific. So that's a big reason. I mean, it's a team game. But I hear you.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking Mike Babcock is seeing the big picture. He's trying to do his $5 million a year thing. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see Toronto do something.
Yeah.
but I have questions.
Yeah.
So what do we have to do to get rid of Dumba? I'll end on that.
If they wanted to get rid of Dumba, I could promise you they could do that this minute. I think that right now, after 23 years old, coming off a couple seasons in a row where he's 27 goals, I think they're scared of doing it. And I think they want to get in front of his agents here. There really has been non-exit negotiations right now, but I don't think this is going to be a hard contract to do. The numbers are right there. And, I think their biggest question is are you willing to invest in him long term? That's what they're trying to ask themselves right now.
Let's thank John Hedges and Fixology Repair. John's at the show, but he's going to relax and have a drink and not come up here. So we'll just tell you about Fixology Repair. Downtown, right just in the Skyway, just south of the Wells Fargo Center, right across from Dunn Brothers, is kind of their cool downtown shop. They also have the big shop out at the Mall of America, third floor by Nordstrom's. I've visited both. I actually have a laptop issue I need to talk to you about later on, Jared, so remind me. You can... We'll run the ad. You didn't want to come up and talk. We're just going to run your ad. How about that?
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at FixologyMN on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
All right, introduce yourself and fire away.
Ben from Rockford. Listen to every single episode of you guys. Appreciate you. I've never emailed, never been to a live show, but just wanted to say that I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate it. Welcome.
My question is pure just me speculating on trades. Any chance Florida would ever give up Huberdeau in a trade?
He's
kind of just that semi-superstar, like a Sagan from Boston or a Johansson from Columbus.
Well, the only thing there is that they're not far from the cap, and you're right. From where he was supposed to be, he hasn't hit that level, and there are guys on that team that have now, to me, passed him. In terms of in star power. Barkov is their best player. Trocheck has been unbelievable. Dadonov was it last year, awesome. Ekblad. So all of a sudden, he is kind of that periphery guy. So it's hard for me to say. I think at some point Florida's got to do something to get themselves over the hump to just make the postseason. And I do think that they are. I would rather, if you're Fenton, go after him than Bukestad or something like that. Absolutely, but it's just it really is hard to speculate.
And by the way, Ben, Vicky, Ken, grab any shirt or hat you want. We are pushing these because I don't want to have to store them anymore, but we have the new stuff too, which is really nice. Feel free to grab whatever you like because we appreciate you being here. Bert, good to see you, man.
Nice to see you. First of all, I want to thank you for tweaking the podcast and going live again.
Well, we found the right place. That's the fun part.
And my question is, I'm going to be the oddball, and I like the moves that they made in free agency only because it allows the young guys like Greenway and Kunin to be in Iowa next year.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm hoping that's what they do. I know you've said that Fenton believes in that a lot, but now that he's the head cheese, I hope he follows through with it because that's the only way I think the team's going to get better.
Well, a lot of it is going to. I agree, but a lot of it is going to depend on if they make a move because right now there is a spot for Greenway to play significant minutes here, and Bruce absolutely loves the guy. So we'll see. And the other thing that it allows you to do if you put Greenway on the team at that third spot left wing is that you might be able to experiment with him at center and move Eriksson Ek to the wing, and sprinkle these guys throughout the lineup. Even maybe move Koivu to third line and move one of those young kids up to the second line. So we'll see. I'm not as convinced as I was, say, a week ago after talking to Fenton this week and definitely talking to Bruce that 100% that Greenway is going to start in the minors if he proves himself.
I read that Fenton said he thinks Greenway belongs up here.
And again, it doesn't matter if he makes the team. He could be in Iowa a month later. I mean, that's the beauty of those entry-level contracts. They have no waivers, so you can send them out. Dan must be the cleanest writer we have at The Athletic because Zach has barely touched his computer, and he's like one-hand editing right now. So, okay.
Yeah.
Dan's a good guy, by the way. I like Dan a lot.
Yeah.
He does a good job.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bert. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming out.
I didn't even.
We appreciate
Did
it.
I even let you ask your question? I just kind of interrupted at the beginning.
We're used to that.
All right.
It's kind of what we expect from you. Pardon me? Yeah, I didn't bring a ton of these today because I'm pushing those, but we will have more of those. Yes, you may.
Yeah, just talk in the middle of the podcast, Vicky.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We got tired of sitting in the studio just talking to each other. This is what we're here for. Yes, sir.
Forward to February, March, do you expect the trade deadline to be like draft day or more like
like nothing happening, you mean?
Free agency.
Wait, say that again. Ask the question. Sorry. So pushing it forth to the trade deadline?
Yep.
In terms of inactivity?
Yeah.
Or, no, there's always going to be activity at the trade deadline. A lot of it's going to depend on the Wild situation. If all of a sudden the Wild are at the deadline and have no chance of making the playoffs, they're going to probably move guys like Eric Stahl and maybe even get Koivu to waive his no move. I mean, there's going to be things like that potentially happen. If they have a chance to get over the top, they can make some moves. But league-wide, there will be activity. I was a little blown away by how little there was actually done this year, and it's funny. I mean, this has been – I think the trend is because when I first started covering the league, there were just blockbusters, 5, 6, 7, every time that you – at the draft. I mean, Bettman would get up there and say, we have a trade to announce, and everybody would just, there'd be this loud, I still remember in 2000 in my head, we're in Calgary, Roberto Luongo and Olli Jokinen for Mark Parrish and Kavash, and the sound in that Saddle Dome. In 2011, when the Brent Burns trade was announced, the sound at XL Energy Center. What's the difference? The difference is this free agency courting period that has happened in the last 3 years, which I've been a proponent of for years. But what it has done is that you have these teams that say, you know what? Before I make that huge move, let me see if say that you're Paul Fenton and you want to trade Jason Zucker or Nino Niederreiter at the draft. You want to make sure that you can go get James Van Riemsdyk or James Neal or whatever. You got to see that you're able to even do that. So. I think that the free agent courting period league-wide has stopped teams from being able to make big moves at the draft because they kind of want to go into that courting period and see if they can get their guy and how much the framework would cost.
Good question. Grab anything you want off the table if you like. Also want to introduce Marius from Dulono's Pizza. We appreciate you having us here. Vicky and Clyde just ordered a humongous pizza that looks really good. I see everybody enjoying the pizza around the place. We've already talked with Jarrett about your place. What can you tell us about Dulono's and the move downtown?
First of all, thank you all. You guys are here, and we're very happy to have you here today. I can tell you about this place. It's in our city from 1957. We have one of the best pizza here in town. We have also a very nice and big buffet in the morning. It's going Monday to Friday, every day from 11 to 2 o'clock. We have a good happy hours with our appetizer and a variety of beers. And also we deliver till 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. I should have mentioned the delivery. You guys have a massive delivery area, too.
Yes, it's a very big delivery area. We try to get this pizza to everybody we can. And we do it every day till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Awesome. And obviously we are at the downtown Minneapolis location. You also have a place in Woodbury, correct?
Yes, we have one location in Woodbury. It's not open till 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's open every day till 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the night.
And how late do you serve here each night?
I'm sorry?
How late do you serve pizza or drinks?
The dining
here?
in is open till 1 o'clock, and we deliver till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Excellent. All right, great. Well, thank you, Marius. We appreciate you having us here. We're having a great time, and we're going to eat a lot of pizza while we're here.
Thank you.
It's funny.
Thank you, sir.
I a couple of weeks ago met Jared, the owner here, up in Woodbury, and he, where we started talking about maybe doing the podcast. And apparently Jared is the only one that knows the secret spices in the sauce.
Yeah, he was telling us that he comes here and makes the pizza sauce because nobody else knows the recipe or is allowed to know the recipe.
So yeah, I'm with them up in Woodbury and probably till midnight hanging out, and all of a sudden I get this text from him at like 1 a.m. asking if I wanted to come down here. I'm like, wait, you're in Minneapolis? But what happened is they called him in a panic, and they're like, we're almost out of the spices. So he had to, like, at 1 a.m. actually drive from Woodbury here to go basically make put the spices in the sauce. So
hands-on ownership.
Yep.
Let's do a few. Did you have a